Eric Weinstein has been talking about this with gauge theory. So different kinds of approaches from the physics world, from the mathematical world, to extend past this scalar view of economics. So gauge theory is one way that comes from physics. Do you find that way of exploring economics interesting? So outside of cryptocurrency, outside of the actual technologies and so on, just analysis of how economics works. Do you find that interesting?
Yeah, I think that if we're going to want to really make any scientific progress in economics, we have to apply much more computationally intensive and richer forms of mathematics.
So simulation, perhaps, or
Yeah, when I was at MIT, I studied system dynamics. They taught it at the Sloan School. It was developed by Jay Forrester, who was an extraordinary computer scientist, and when we created models of economic behavior, they were all multidimensional, nonlinear models. So if you want to describe how anything works in the real world, you have to start with the concept of feedback. If I double the price of something, demand will fall, and attempts to create supply will increase, and there will be a delay before the capacity increases. There'll be an instant demand change, and there'll be rippling effects throughout every other segment of the economy, downstream and upstream of such thing. So it's kind of common sense, but most classical economics, it's always, taught with linear models, fairly simplistic linear models. And oftentimes, even I'm really shocked today that the entire mainstream dialogue of economics has been captured by scalar arithmetic. For example, if you read read any article in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, right? They just refer to there's an inflation number, or the CPI, or the inflation rate is X. And if you look at all the historic studies of the impact of inflation, generally they're all based upon the idea that inflation equals CPI, and then they try to extrapolate from that, and you just get nowhere with it.
so at the very least, we should be considering inflation and other economics concept as a nonlinear dynamical system. So nonlinearity, and also just embracing the full complexity of just how the variables interact, maybe through simulation, maybe have some interesting models around that.
Wouldn't it be refreshing if somebody for once published a table of the change in price of every product, every service, and every asset in every place over time?